Hey there, Aries. Thanks for tuning in. I'm very excited about doing this reading today. It's been a couple months, I think, at least, since the last YouTube readings I did. And yeah, it just feels really good to be working with the cards again. So for this reading, we're going to take a look at what might be going on for you for the remainder of April. It's April 11 today as I'm filming this, but hopefully these messages will inspire you for your month ahead. I think I have a general feel for where your reading is headed for this month. We're going to unpack it and clarify it as we go. It seems like that there is a lot of your attention on your expansion, your betterment, your growth, particularly new things that you're working on, things that you really want to make happen, to bring into fruition. At the same time, I think I see maybe some blockers or some pretty significant frustrations in what you're working on and how it's coming to be. And I think blockages is kind of the key word there, because yeah, it seems and it seems like not the kind of blockages or the resistance that comes from the external world. I think it's going to have to do a lot with your perception of, the things standing in your way, or maybe the clarity that you feel you're supposed to have about what you're manifesting, exactly how it maybe should be showing up. So let's start clarifying and unpacking the reading, and we'll see where the advice takes us. So at the heart of your reading for this month, kind of had two cards that came out together as kind of your core message, which is the King of Swords upright and the Sun in reverse. My first impression of this is that your thinking mind is very possibly getting in the way of your happiness, to just put it bluntly. I think that there may be ways in which you think things are supposed to happen in a very decided way, and maybe this has to do with you feeling like your own power is reflected by making things happen in the way that to match the picture that you have in your mind. But with the sun in reverse here, I think there's an issue of like seeing things in totality properly. Like, so you may be hyperfixating on certain parts of life, certain elements, maybe certain pain points or frustrations. And the sun, yeah, so there's an issue with how much the sun can illuminate for you, because the thinking mind is over maybe like your mind not serving you, but you serving your mind. And that could be an issue. In your conscious world for this month, the things that are happening around you, or the action that you're taking that you're very aware of, you're consciously very involved in, you have the Magician. And so I don't think that this is like a disempowered reading, or that the feeling of maybe disempowerment or frustration is going to be like all pervasive this month, but it could be like there could be just noticeable frustration in the ways that you are trying to manifest. I think that keeping a conscious eye on the way that you're moving forward, the direction that you're following in your life, that's important to be doing. Let's see though, with this Magician and kind of the way that you're moving through the world, see if we can get some more like clarifying information on how that feels, or how that's showing up. What is the Magician suggesting about manifesting for Aries right now? Yeah, something with there's okay, so to clarify the Magician, you have the Seven of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. There's an element of like sabotage in your manifestation process, and kind of again with the sun being in reverse here, I'm getting the feeling that a lot of what you need to accomplish your dreams or to feel fulfilled is actually here, but there is some sort of like sabotaging element in the mix of that. And it could be coming from confusion as well, whereas like, or maybe mixed messages, where the King of Pentacles is very grounded and assured, very confident, because the material, the external world is reflected back to him, his value. So my impression here is that with the Page of Cups coming in, it could be like new curiosity or new fascination in some sort of way, coming in as almost a distractor in some sort of way. I don't know if that's a positive or negative thing, whether this is the kind of curiosity that you are intended to follow, or if this is more of like a naive sort of escapism, possibly, kind of latching on to the novel, something new that's catching your eye. Let's see if I can get one more card to clarify that Page of Cups. I don't think those are it. Can you clarify the Page of Cups? What is that energy in the mix here? Yeah, I think that there is a naivety here, and I hope I'm not overcomplicating this reading now, but the Page of Cups is clarified by the Ten of Cups in reverse and the Ten of Wands. So that's like, that suggests to me like confusion about like the dream, or the thing that you actually want to be experiencing. Where the Ten of Cups is kind of the happily ever after, in reverse, it's kind of, I get the feeling of questioning that. And with the Ten of Wands, it's almost feeling like being burnt out in some sort of way in this manifestation process. Yeah, it feels like there's a certain kind of burnout, or like the feeling of burnout due to like whatever kind of shiftier elements or unsure elements are happening within you. Maybe insecurities or second guessing yourself. I think that kind of sabotaging element could show up in a lot of ways. But with the Page of Cups here, it's this feels to me like there's an escapism, and that the things that you would be manifesting or drawing in for yourself, the kind of things that you're attracting right now, may not be to your highest good, especially if it's happening in response to a feeling of burnout or being unsure about your dream, kind of like the direction that you wanted your life to be moving in. And a lot of this, again, to kind of come back to the heart of your reading, seems to do with particular mental rumination, or like a very rigid view as to how your future should unfold. All right, let's keep moving here. Yeah, because I think it's going to keep, I hope, clarifying. So in your subconscious realm for this month, you have the Page of Pentacles. This is sort of like the deeper drives that are motivating your actions, and this is a very positive card to be having in kind of your deeper subconscious. So there is a very strong force that is like moving you to be very active, to have your actions match the kind of vision of who you want to be, to just be practicing, even in very new ways of changing yourself, of chasing that more singular vision that is on the whole very positive for you, that is exciting, expansive, and is for your growth. That's kind of like the engine that's running your show right now, and that's a very positive one, generally speaking, to have there. But to move on to your challenge for this month, you have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. I think this could show up in several different ways, but the strongest impression I get is that you have all of the materials that you need to capitalize on your next best step forward, as far as your creative projects, your vision for your future. But it may feel there's some sort of like perception that you don't have what you need, or it could be just fear of actually capitalizing on all of the blessings that are available, the things that you've been working on that are now sort of coming to fruition. So maybe maybe there's a very strong fear element here of kind of feeling like you're getting what you want, and maybe being scared of what happens when you experience your dream fulfilled, or experience that much abundance. Yeah, because now as I'm looking at it, like, you have a lot of very strong, assured, confident cards here, like the King of Pentacles, the Magician, which they're embodying manifestation and dreams coming through, that feeling of abundance, the deeply felt experience, the one that's not questioning whether you have what you need or if you don't. It's the deep knowing of having it all is here, that satisfaction. But for some reason, and I think like really it's some sort of thinking mind that is maybe not, I don't know if it's a worthiness thing, like you feel like there's always something else that you need to be doing in order to, it's like maybe there's a chase element that you're really drawn to, where it's like you have to be chasing something rather than kind of receiving what it is that you asked for. Yeah, because I think now that I look at it, the Page of Cups could signify confusion. sort of like emotionally tapping out at the time where, what you wanted is here. So the challenge seems to be in accepting it, or changing, your relationship to actually getting what you want, or maybe more precisely, changing your relationship to the chase, what pursuing your dreams actually means to you. So let's see if we can get a bit of clarification on that Seven of Pentacles. Why is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse here for the challenge? What's sort of difficult to accept? Or difficult to see? What resources are difficult to see available to you? Yeah, it's almost like becoming aware, like having worked on a particular process, and now that you're partway through, like you're almost towards achieving your goal, you realize that the next iteration of it is going to require a very different approach. Maybe that's something that you're fearful of as well, kind of the next chapter and what the new approach will be, almost like having a taste of satisfaction and knowing that you have to dive into the mystery again, dive into the unknown. And that just not being very clear right now. And if that's not clear, your mind is going to try to fill in the blanks, try to use old views of how to do things, and basically your habits, old habits, like recycling them. Your mind's going to try to like come up with the solution, and that mind is not going to be what leads you to success anymore. And I think you're knowing that in a deeper way. Yeah. Okay. So try to again make this a little bit more clear. Seven of Pentacles in reverse is clarified by the Three of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Knight of Wands. So there's an element of trust that you're going to have to develop, almost like again. My feeling is that you took a big leap to get this dream moving at some point in the past, and it was a big deal. And now, like, you kind of got used to like the good results that you got because of doing that. But now there's a new faith that's asked for, where there's patience may be difficult, relying on a higher power, that higher version of yourself, even however you'd like to think about it. That's what you're called to do again. And it will be in a way that's very unique to you, something that comes through in a very passionate way. And I think the challenge here might be to follow your highest excitement, whatever, from moment to moment, whatever that next highest excitement is. Because, yeah, it's like the logical mind trying to lead you forward is trying to work from like past data and basically not be hurt. And it's really blocking, your clear vision of how to proceed. But it's kind of like the challenge is going to be to surrender and actually use the resources that are here for you. It's like the challenge here is not to like figure out new like ways to get more, or ways to like bring in new things. The challenge here now is to use what you have, kind of like putting the rubber to the road, like making it happen. So, man, I understand why it's a challenge, because it's like you are diving into the unknown again. But it's going to be a lot of fun if you can maybe relinquish a bit of control and open up to the possibility that this will actually be a lot of fun. And let's see how you're going to do that. So in your advice, you have the Hermit. you're going to need to take some time for yourself and just really go deep, relax, maybe detach from the day-to-day activity that you've been maybe grinding on for some time to bring something into fruition. See if there's a little more clarification as to how to sit with yourself at this time, how to tap into that deeper wisdom of identifying your values again. I think that's a part of it too, is that like maybe now your action needs to more strongly and more consistently mirror what you feel your values are. Let's see, can we get some clarification on the Hermit? Yeah, well, I think you're probably going to realize that there's a lot of like subconscious blockers or kind of deeper held limiting beliefs happening. It's often the case when we feel like we're not moving forward. And yeah, get one. I think maybe one more. Yes, and I think just making peace with this transition moment that you're in is going to be big for you. So again, to clarify the Hermit, you have the Moon, the Four of Pentacles, and the Death card, the card of transformation. So the Moon is speaking to the fact that there are deeper things on a more subconscious level that are interfering with basically your sense of confidence, is what I'm feeling. So there is, again, to kind of reflect your subconscious happenings right now, there is like a very strong awareness that you are chasing the project that is going to bring about your growth, and it's going to match your highest excitement. Just in the process, you're going to have to face some energies that are trying to keep you safe, trying to keep you from not jumping into the unknown again. And I think at this time too, with the Four of Pentacles here, taking care of your physical body is going to be really important for you. Essentially simplifying all the aspects of life, is simplifying as many aspects of life as you can. So, eating healthy, but maybe preparing meals ahead of time as an example. So buying the healthy food and then preparing it so that every day of that week you're not having to think about and manage your time to like, when am I going to cook? What am I going to eat? Things like that. Doing the very basic things, and at the same time cutting out distractors. Again, I think there's going to be like sort of a lot of distractors coming in, or you're going to notice things that really want to get your attention to. Yeah, it might be a time of a little bit of boredom as well, as you're readjusting, because the Four of Pentacles feels to me like building new habits as well, habits that are going to give you energy and give you clarity. And with this transition here, it's or this transformation card with Death, you're leaving behind things that are not serving, so that your energy can be channeled into like things that only continue to give energy. The feeling now is that your energy is going towards probably a number of things that are just not returning anything to you. It's kind of like dead end transfer, when you could be, just by the nature of participating in good, wholesome things, receiving energy from those things. So a lot about taking care of your body, watching spending, considering the value of the things that you are spending the money on. And I don't think I'll have much to say further about those, but just kind of tapping into that deeper knowledge of, does this thing return something to me like that I'm investing in? Is it really worth it? And with an eye on simplicity at this time, keeping that in mind as well, like not overdoing much of anything, so that, the deeper wisdom can come through. Basically, the deeper wisdom comes through when we take the other distractors and the things that are blocking us out of the way. It's not so much about doing more to become more enlightened. It's about getting the unnecessary distractions out of the way so that, the truth can just be clear. The truth's always there, but we're trying to make it more clear. Let's see if we can get you a couple oracle cards to kind of highlight the core energy of this reading for you, because this is one where I felt like it was a little obscure, a little all over the place. Some of the big themes, with like distraction and confusion about the dream, kind of this difficult transition moment, and accepting the actual material that's come through for you. Like those things are here, but I think it's going to be showing up in a lot of different ways for many people. Okay. And I think I'm feeling some of my own energy creeping in around, actually taking the action that is good for me too. So I'm feeling for myself a lot of the things reflected in this reading. I'm going to try to keep those things separate, but they do come through. Simplify, simplify, simplify. There might be an impulse to sort of like shut down. I don't know if that's meant for you as well, but it's kind of a feeling that I've been feeling. It's like I'm seeing evidence of my dreams coming true, of having enough. And then there's some part of me that wants to shut down and not actually experience it. Very interesting. All right, so I think you're going to get 4 for this month. Man, it's just a really interesting and kind of heavy mix of energy for this month. So, in your oracle, you have no thingness, sorrow, abundance, and morality. And kind of like I was getting in your tarot reading, there's very strong assuring cards here, like abundance and no thingness, these very expansive, positive, feelings, positive energies, but they're offset by the really deep, sort of darker shadow energies, like almost in equal measure at this time. It's like 2 very strong forces of positivity and negativity kind of vying for your attention. And so, like with sorrow and morality, these are cards that can become, these are energies that can become very confusing in the face of like what should feel like dreams coming true to us. So maybe just to start with the no thingness, you know, in your core energy in the tarot reading with the King of Swords here, there's a contrast between like this really rigid sort of thinking about how do I make things happen, how do I make the external world like reflect what I need it to, and then no thingness, which is just this profound openness. It's not a judging, it's mind. It's recognizing that any particular like outcomes that we may have in mind or ways to make things happen, it's like there are so many more elements at play that we do not control. And so resting in this no thingness can bring a tremendous amount of relief, of space, of relaxation. And with abundance, it's like, again, you had the Seven of Pentacles here, like, which is a card of like tremendous material abundance, but it was in reverse. So it's like there is the assurance, and it's coming through in many places that what you need is here, and that like there is a strong positive force looking out for you that only wants the best for you at all times. So almost in a way like making peace with that being the truth, that is here. And then with morality and sorrow, I think these are just asking you to take a really deep look at the deep sadness that you may have been carrying for a really long time, as well as like the morality or the behaviors and the ways of thinking that other people gave to you that you did not choose. And I think there's an invitation to do a deep reset for you in a deep way. You know, you may do this in whatever form of meditation feels good to you, that it kind of allows you to tap into that hermit energy, your deep personal wisdom. But yeah, I think it's important to create conditions for yourself right now to really just reset yourself. Again, with that simplicity of just watching where your energy is going. It may be very helpful to write down a list of wholesome activities, you know, things that you enjoy, that feel good to your body, good to your soul, that only bring you positive returns. And rely on this, simple, short list of things when you feel yourself kind of torn energetically. Just kind of resting on something simple, something that's very nourishing and wholesome. Because I think that's going to be the way that you process the sorrow, the way that you kind of release the moralities and the sort of judgmental thought systems that have kind of taken over too much, like a program that has been playing for a long time that originally served a very important purpose, for grounding you, for showing you, illuminating your path in life, but that program has run too long. So in this reset, you are beginning a new program. And it makes sense that this is a scary time, or there's fear in the mix here, unsureness. Just please know that you're bolstered with a lot of support, you know, from the universe or from God or from your higher power, your guides, your spiritual companions. Maybe feel into the support. And whatever surrender might feel like for you, kind of allowing it and just asking that power, can you please help me? I don't know what to do right now. I think you'll be very surprised potentially by the space that opens in you to receive more clarity, and to stop needing to control in ways that you felt you've needed to control. So I hope that there's a message that reaches you, something that touches your heart, because I realize there were a lot of big themes happening here, and I hope they didn't get too lost in the mix. Thank you so much for your time, and I will talk to you again. Take care.